with head coach Crystal Brock. Congratulations on your achievements from this past weekend. Tell us about the competitions.
First of all, thank you. We really appreciate the support that we've been receiving all week and even all semester as we plan for this event. The National Dance Alliance is one of the largest performing competitions for our market in dance and in cheer for the NCAA Division II. And this week, it was the largest recorded in history collegiate competition with over 20,000 spectators, which is amazing. There were over 355 teams and 54 different divisions. We were one of the divisions competing in the NDA Team Performance Division.
Can you tell us about the results of each of the competitions that took place this weekend?
Yes, at the NDA competition, OLLU performed in the NEIA Team Performance Division, and we did rank second place, which was a huge accomplishment for our group, considering it was our inaugural appearance, making our school history.
Let's go, girls!
I believe, and it's a little.
Let's go, Push!
How are you right now? Let's go!
You know that breakfast woman sleeping here alone.
Breathe!
You know I dream in color and do the things
Let's
I
go!
Don't be sorry, think you have the right answer, but you don't think everything goes on. Doesn't kill you, make you strong. Doesn't mean I'm not leaving him alone.
Team Performance with a final score of 78.32. Our Lady of the Lake University.
We did also perform at the DTU Collegiate Classic this weekend, and we did place 7th in the team performance in the NEIA College Division and in the Junior College Division. So it was a combined, what they call an open division, where they put D3 junior colleges and NEIA schools.
You got it, ladies! You got it, y'all! Just do it!
You know the bed feels warmer, sleeping here alone. You know I dream in color and do the things I want.
Let's go, y'all!
You think you got the best in me, think you have the answer, but you think that everything could be gone. What doesn't kill you make you strong. See the little taller, doesn't mean I'm not leaving him alone. What doesn't kill you makes a fire, footsteps even lighter.
the standout performers from this weekend and then all their achievements?
I'd love to. We had some really great kids that stood out this week, and I think it's important that we recognize those. First, I want to recognize Joel Ruiz, our team captain. She did a great job. Their NDA, that whole week of Daytona competition, is very high impact, go, go, go. And she was able to help me manage the team as I would get called to a coach's meeting and run to this corner, run to that corner. She just kept the team going. So I would say Jewel helped keep us on track and organized as the week just went on. Second, I would like to talk about Madison Smith. She's one of our freshmen this year from Brennan High School. She did a fantastic job. Something to understand about our competition is every time we perform, the judges give you an evaluation and critiques to better your performance for the next evaluation. So every day we had to go into practice mode and just change our routine, and Madison had some of the biggest changes that helped impact our team in a positive way and helped our scores go up each day. So we did, I do want to notate Madison. And then also want to notate too, Alina Gutierrez. She is one of our freshmen as well, coming from Laredo. And I will say about Alina, she's one of those students that stood out, not just to me from the sidelines, but from all the coaches from every level, D1 to D3. Everyone kept saying, that kid right there is your shining star. Just look at her. I couldn't stop watching her. So I just wanted to give her a quick little shout out because it does take a lot of work, and she has grown so much this year already that it's those little moments at competition when they really matter. And she stepped up, and everybody noticed, the judges even noticed, and I'm just very grateful for the hard work that she's put in this year.
Can you tell us about your greatest supporters who have been with you through all of this process?
Yes, I'm gonna start from the top, and this is the people that traveled with us. It takes an army and a village to get to Daytona, and then once you're there to keep it rolling, because every day it is so busy. So I'll start with Haley Holzum. She's our senior women's advisor, and she just did so much to help us while we were planning for the trip, and then also while we were there and keeping the girls, on schedule, keeping me on schedule, and making sure we were always moving along and staying positive. She was a great support system, even on the sidelines, cheering for us, because part of our score is just getting the crowd involvement and getting the crowd excited. So you could hear her screaming at competition. She did all our live stream for us while we were there and did a lot of the postings for us and took pictures. So we're very grateful for Haley. Next would be Roland Latson, our choreographer, who also was able to travel with us this past week. He did such a great job putting a routine together that was competitive for our first year. So we are very grateful for Roland and all the extra work he took to work on technique and to help me as I was changing the routine while we were there in Daytona. The next would be Corey Beechner. He's our head athletic trainer. He did travel with us as well. He's always taking care of my students, and he knows that dancers, they don't complain. So when they complain, he was first to be like, we got to treat this, and I am so grateful for him. There were many times he just kept us, smiling, because it is a very intense, serious time, and we do get caught up in the moment, and there were times when he was able to make us laugh and keep us going. So we're very grateful for Corey. Next, I want to talk about Cody Rokar. He's one of our Halo Club members. He did travel on the trip as well. He was actually the person who helped feed and maintain our nutrition on the trip and make sure the girls were well taken care of as far as eating and staying healthy. So we're very grateful for him. He also took pictures and cheered for us on the sideline. One of the hardest parts people don't realize is one of the biggest parts of our score is just getting the crowd to get excited with us, and having those supporters on the trip was more than we could have ever asked for. I mean, we weren't fortunate to have parents travel with us this year, so having those supporters there on the sidelines with me, yelling at the girls and cheering at them and just trying to keep them motivated was really helpful, and we're very gracious.
So what does it mean to you personally to have taken this team so far in just your second year?
Well, it's a personal goal, I think, for any coach to be able to reach this level of competition. Whether you are teaching in a studio, teaching high school fine arts dance, or dance teams in high school, and then in the college world, this is a big achievement. And we realize this as dance educators, that not everybody gets to get to this level. So it's been such an overwhelming feeling, and there's a lot of excitement, but there's also a lot of just motivation to be better. And that is something that I work on for myself all the time. I watch film all the time. I'm constantly just reviewing and studying and learning the new ins and outs, because with dance, it's evolving all the time. It doesn't stay the same. It changes from the tricks to the different, leap combos, the turn combos. The things that these athletes are able to do now is crazy. It wasn't like that when I was their age. It's definitely evolving, and it's getting harder and way more competitive. So it's a huge accomplishment. There's a lot of work to still be done. I'm very proud of the students. I'm very proud of how far they've come. Looking into the future for these students, we know now what we need to do. It helps me to plan as a coach for the next time. I know now what to expect, because sometimes the expectations change. Even when you're there, things change as we saw changing our routine from day to day. The amount of work that has to be put in can never be taken for granted. We have to just always push further and remember that the quote from varsity sports and from NDA and NCAA is, the work is worth it, and it truly is. When you're working for something so big, no matter how hard it is, when you get to that point, you realize it was worth it. All the blood, sweat, tears, the pain, the sacrifices, because that is what a lot of these students do. Is they do sacrifice a lot of time from family, friends. They put in a lot of time into their studies, and then even when it's hard and they're hurting in practice, they push through. So I'm just grateful for their energy and for their dedication and their loyalty, because I know it is hard. One thing that was very humbling in Daytona that we talked about was there was that moment when you get to go from the auditorium to the beach to go take your team pictures with your trophies. And we were honestly we were happy but disappointed, because who doesn't want to win first? And we truly had for our first year, we had a great chance. We really did. We lost by 2 points. So when we walked out, it was really happy moment, but you're sad. But what really brought us back to our happy moment was seeing those other teams on the beach with no hardware, as we call it, no hardware, no trophies. And that could have been us, but it wasn't. And we're just so grateful that we at least were able to represent OLLU and our community and San Antonio and come back with second place, because that was a huge accomplishment. But we're ready for next year. We're ready to see what we can do. Now we know, and now we're ready to go back.
Crystal, what are your goals for next season?
Well, our goals is to, number one, bring in more students. There is just so much opportunity here at OLLU for dancers that want to compete at the next level, and we're looking for those students that want to move on with us. That is our first goal, is to grow as a program. Our next goal is just conditioning. We conditioned a lot, but there's so much more conditioning we could do to train and prepare for this competition at that level. We need to work on what we call the plyometrics, just learning to get off the ground in our leaps and our jumps. We need to work on the ballet technique and what they call style and jazz. So we know that we need to be a little bit more fluid in our movements based on judges' critiques. We know we need to get harder in our hip hop, and that's really hard for some students to understand. You think you're being hard, you think you're being tough, but it's not there. You've got to get to a different level of hip hop. It's a very competitive level. And the attitude that comes in your facial expressions and in your shoulders and in your movements, that's really important. And then when we're working on our palm part of our routine, we've got to be sharper. We know we need to work on palm intensives, and when we have our guests come in that do clinicians with us, we know we need to be a little bit more intuitive and just really look into what those teachers are telling us to work on, so that we are prepared, because there are the harder movements like the punching of the motions. So we just need to learn to do that. And with our weight room training, knowing what I know now, and moving forward, I know what I can do now in the weight room to make it even more intense for us and to make it more useful. We have already started. I have already started working and talking with other choreographers and getting their ideas and input, and working on finding somebody to help us get to that next level, because with the compliments that we received from NDA, from the other coaches, from D1, D2, D3, from everybody, there was so much support in our team and in our school that they are just as excited for us to go back. And so in talking with these choreographers and what we can do, I just know that we're gonna have an even better and stronger routine and a more prepared team. The tricks that we're gonna be learning to get to that level is gonna be amazing, and I'm excited. I mean, in working already, we've already started working mentally and trying to strategize what it is that we want for our team. So I'm excited. We know too that our team is strong, and this year we only took one performance. Next year we do plan to take two, so we will take the team performance, which included the 3 genres of dance, which was jazz, hip hop, and palm. And then next year we do plan on adding a palm routine as well. So there will be 2 routines that we'll be able to compete with and just give ourselves a little bit more of a competitive edge.